Morning everybody, and it really is morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning here. Our Irish summer has arrived. The first nest of swallows are in the air already. The hedges, the fields are resplendent, a glory of green and nature. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of being able to shoot YouTube videos specifically to illustrate points. I've got to choose my moment during the restoration of an engine to make a video and try and get something across to you. Now, in this video I want to show you how we managed to waste a lot of time. Stupid on our part, but we're human, we all make mistakes. We had, as you can see, largely assembled this engine. We'd got on the cooling system. We had partially installed the inlet manifolds. The engine was ready to go. But we had to set the tappets. And in previous videos, I've shown you how to do this using feeler gauges. We have to slip the feeler gauge under each one of the valves on each piston and set the clearance. But on this particular engine, we found that whenever we tried to push the valves down, they were hitting something. This was very strange. On this head, they were fine, no problem. But on the three-cylinder head on the front of this 5LW engine, the valves were hitting something. Now, what can happen is, if the block has been machined too much, there's not enough clearance at the top of the piston, and the valve is going down and hitting the top of the piston. But we knew this wasn't the case because it was happening on each cylinder. On each cylinder, the valves were going down and hitting something. Let me go now and show you what was happening. Now, what happens whenever the block's been manufactured by Gardner, whenever it was manufactured by Gardner some years ago, they push in their liner into the block like this. They then had a very specialised machine which they themselves invented. And it come down here and it recessed that part there in the liner. It recessed that so the valve had clearance to move up and down. I hope you can see that. The same thing, there's a pocket here on this side to allow clearance for the exhaust valve. But the years go by, the block gets worn and it's sent out to some machine shop who don't have the same specialised machinery that Gardner had originally. This local machine shop presses in the liner. It finishes flush here like that. They then simply take a hammer and hit the liner at the top there, and that piece breaks out. It's perhaps a primitive way of doing it, but it works fine most of the time. But what happened on that particular block on the 5LW is the little piece that broke out here didn't break out clean. The valve was jamming as it was going down there, up and down there. I hope that's clear. So the solution was very simple. The solution was very simple. We took this carbon bit here, very hard, and we ground it out. We ground out there the top of the liner, and then that gave sufficient, a nice clean clearance for the valve to move up and down. I hope that's clear. It's just one of the many problems that we face restoring these engines nowadays. So, I hope, as always, you got something out of that. I know it's unfortunate that the engine has just progressed to the point where I couldn't show you the valves actually misbehaving, but I'm afraid that's the way it is here. I'll now show you, before I go, I'll now show you this engine running and everything is fine. Thank you so much.